So hey guys, welcome to an edition of How to Clean a Crab. So I have a business called A1A Crab House in St. Augustine, Florida. This is just not a promotion. I actually really want to be more informative than promotional. So I wanted to teach you guys how to properly clean a crab, a blue crab. I've seen people use butter knives. I've seen people use knives. I've seen people use hammers. I've seen people do a lot of things, especially when I have employees. I ask them, the first thing I ask is like, show me how you clean a crab, right? And 9 times out of 10, when I see what they're doing, I'm like, that's the hard way. And then I show them my way, and they're like, oh my God, that was so cool. How did you do that? I'm like, well, I've been doing this for like 15 years. And I posted a video a few days ago about teaching how my son, Liam, my 8-year-old son, how to clean a crab. And he was already teaching his best friend how to clean crabs. So I hope my way is as easy for you guys as it was for my son. So I'm going to teach you. So right here I have a female crab. So here in Florida, they're allowed to catch female crabs, right? And it's not illegal. During the wintertime, a lot of the crabbers go to West Coast, Florida, not California, but so they go to the West Coast because the water's warmer. There tend to be more saltwater crabs over there. And also here in St. Augustine, Florida, we have the St. Johns River, which a lot of the crabbers crab in most of the year. But every 2 years, they shut down the St. Johns River for a river cleanup, it's called. And so during that time, a lot of the crabbers switch to the intercoastal here. And St. Augustine, Jacksonville, they all go towards the intercoastal area to catch crabs. And most of the crabs coming out of there are females. There are some males. And but yeah, so that's just a little education right there. They jump out of the river, not just because they close it, because the river water is a lot cooler than the ocean water, correct? So yeah, so here we go. So I have a blue crab, female. You can see the apron. I call it a pouch. You can call it whatever you want. So what I like to do first is, if you can see, sorry guys, I had to put a new glove on. Can't have my finger. All right, so what we have here. So right now you see this, there's a knuckle right there. I call it a knuckle, it's called a back fin, but I put it right there in the end of that knuckle. I clean crab left-handed, so but you can do this right-handed as well. You just switch the procedure. This is a very complex surgical procedure that takes years of perfection to master, right? So now we have the crab, right? So put it on the back knuckle, right here. Take your other finger, if you can see, and so you're going to do like a lever. It's like a lever. You push down on your thumb, on the knuckle, push down on the knuckle, pull up on your index finger, and the top shell comes right off. Now you can do this also if you're icing your crab and you want them raw cooked. So a lot of people in Florida like to take the back off, the shell off their crab before they cook them. See, that's possible too. So what you do is you put your crabs in ice water, and that basically numbs them. And you can use the same concept. Now it's a lot more difficult to clean a live crab than to clean a cooked crab, but it's still possible. It takes a little bit more oomph, but you can still do it, right? So you've got the top shell off. Now I do a little wiggle, wiggle. Comes right off. That's the mouth. So then on the lungs, some people I've seen pick them. They'll go pick, 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 pick. And to me that's very tedious. I just take the side of my thumb and swipe. Take the side of your thumb and swipe. And they all come off. Can you see that? No lungs, and all I had to do was swipe. Now at my crab house, I pop mine in half, so that way when I put them, and then pop the apron off the bottom. So that way when I am actually putting seasoning and garlic and butter on the trays, I always, in my trays, I point these upwards in my trays so that way the butter, the seasoning, and the garlic all gets into the crab body. So when I'm dusting, buttering, and everything like that, they'll have nice flavor inside and out. Now when I boil, I do add some seasoning to the water, but not much, because a lot of my seasoning goes on afterwards. So here's round two. This is a male. He lost his claws during cooking. Another great fact, actually. A lot of people don't know this, but if you put your blue crabs in the freezer for 30 minutes, if you have a big enough freezer, and for 30 minutes, or what the better option to do is just get a 5-gallon bucket if you're at home, and put your crabs in ice water for about 15 to 20 minutes. And when you go to steam them, boil them, anything, your 90% of your legs and claws will stay on as long as that ice water is cool enough. Now, when you pull them out of the ice water, they're going to look dead, but they're actually very just numb. So what happens is a blue crab's natural reaction to life or to being threatened is to release their claws and their legs so that the predator doesn't get them. It's a cool, interesting fact, right? So like I say, they're in the water, then a nice flounder comes behind it, or a grouper. So they're running. So what they do is they release their claws, so the grouper goes after their legs instead of their body, so they stay alive. Pretty cool. That's how they were created. I think it's very cool. So what the ice water does is it numbs them so much that when you put them in that hot boiling water or that hot steaming pot, they keep those claws on because it doesn't shock them. So what happens when you take them out of, let's say you got some live crab fresh out of the ocean like I normally do, right? And if I went and put like 6 dozen in a basket and dropped it into my boiling pot, tried to steam them straight from there without putting in the ice water, what's happening is that heat shocks them. It scares them a lot. And so they're feeling threatened when they're shocked like that. And so what they do is release all their claws and legs. So a pretty cool, interesting fact. I didn't know most people knew that, but now you do. And so I'm gonna show you this one more time. Again, this is just an informative video. And I'll have some more informative videos on more seafood later on. There's so many different variations, but cleaning a crab, this should not take you more than 10, maybe 5 seconds of crab. And then you can actually show your friends and they'll be like, wow, I did not know cleaning crabs was so easy. So again, thumb on the back knuckle, lever with your index finger, push down on your thumb, pull up on your index finger, and it pops right off, right? Wiggle, wiggle, swipe, swipe, pop, pull off. On this one's a male, so you can see what this is, guys. I'm not gonna say PG. So, and then again, so I've learned this over the years, but you don't have to do this, especially if you're gonna eat them right away. But you know, sometimes my crabs do go in my cold case because I don't sell them right away, and I don't want the water to build up in my crabs. So I've learned over the years that if I give it a little squeeze, can you hear this? You hear that? So I give it a little pop, a little squeeze around the body, like pop. Now you see how it's flexible? So what I found that does is release any fluid that's in there. Now let's say you're boiling them, you have a bunch of seasoning in your pot, but you're gonna eat them right away, right? So you don't wanna really do that because that'll release all the seasonings and flavor that you have that was built up in the crab. But I didn't put a lot of seasoning in my pot. A lot of my seasoning goes on after I cook them, so it's gonna be pretty cool. So if you wanna see, listen to that. A little pop, right? Pop. And see how much water's coming out? See all that water coming out? So it gives it a longer shelf life. I find if I do that, it gives it a longer shelf life. And so when that water has been sitting in the cooler for like a day, the water will actually start to have a stench to it because it's the acid and stuff coming out of the crab, right? So that way it reduces that amount of water that's in the bottom of my trays. And customers are happy too because they get more butter than water, right? Because I don't want to mix my butter with water. That's not good business. So I hope you found this interesting. So I'm going to show you how fast I can actually do it. Yeah, it's my ego. I like to show off, but I'm going to show you how fast you should be able to do it eventually. Now I've been doing this for 15 years. So Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither was my crab house. Neither was my family. But this is what nap life is all about. Work, family, friends, everybody. It's not going to be about just my crab house, but it's about everybody in my life. pop, wiggle, wiggle, swipe, swipe, pop. Done. Now let's do one more. Pop, wiggle, wiggle, swipe, swipe, pop, pull, and then a little squeeze. Nice. One more time. So that's 3 crabs already. Pop. And I did not increase the tempo at all. Ready? Go. I did not increase the tempo. That's just how fast I'm going. Done. Very cool, guys. Well, thank you for joining in. I hope you got some good, valuable information out of this video. And if you like it, subscribe if you like it. I'm also going to do a video about how to cook some good, really good lump blue crab bisque. It is so good, simple to make, and I've been starting to make it at my store about a month ago because it was getting cold. So I've had some great feedback from it, so I'm going to share it with you guys. All right, later guys.